Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing really well. I filmed a makeup declutter and organization video last night and I just forgot to film an intro and an outro, so that's what I'm doing right now. Welcome to the bathroom. We put a new storage unit in here. I don't love the way it looks, but we needed a lot more storage, or I needed a lot more storage, I should say. So yesterday Shawn helped me, which was really sweet, to completely declutter, clear out my makeup collection and organize everything that I wanted to keep. So that's what I'm going to show you guys in this video. I hope you find it interesting. I hope you enjoy it. If you do, please give the video a big thumbs up. That would be awesome. And yeah, if you're not subscribed yet, you should subscribe and join the family over here. Yeah, without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay guys, so Shawn is helping me completely clear out my makeup collection, and this is what is left that I think I'm gonna keep. And then this is what I've thrown out so far. Doesn't look like a lot, but it's a lot. And we've kind of completely cleaned out the bathroom storage. We're in the middle of wiping everything down, and just for the time being, because we need more practical functional storage in here, I've brought in my IKEA Alex, and we're just trying to figure out how everything is going to be organized. Please note the period stuff drawer. Okay, so I was about to give you guys a tour, and then Shawn is helping me clean out my office, and he found another one of my stashes. So I'm going to go through this, throw out stuff, organize it, sort it into the Alex, and
everything we found is useful. Everything. Gotta add more glitter on my horn.
Did it all fall off? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so with the dog's help, I'm going to give you a quick tour of this IKEA Alex dresser. Excuse the sore on her eye. She's an old lady. She can't help it. Okay, Marble, back up. Back up. Good girl. So in the bottom drawer, this is all my bath stuff. I just keep a box full of Lush bath bombs and like shower gels and stuff in there. Then I have my Epsom salts, which I use pretty much every time I have a bath. Some other bath bombs. These are just from Costco, I think. And this one is from Bath and Body Works. And I've tried the lavender one and I really liked it, so I'm excited to try this one. Then I have some hand soaps. These are from Crabtree and Evelyn. I love the Crabtree and Evelyn hand soaps. And then in this bag I have chopped up hand soap. That's because, if you can see over there, I like using a few different kinds of hand soap at once, just having them out just for the variety. That might be weird, but that's how I live my life. In the next drawer, most of these are in the wash, but these are going to be all my face cloths, my muslin cloths, and these are my little headbands that I use. This next drawer is not makeup or anything. I'll just give you a peek. It's mostly my period drawer, so we'll just leave that like that. Okay, so this next drawer is where it gets interesting and fun. These are my foundations, primers, and basically all my cream and liquid base products. So over here I have all my higher end foundations, so my Estee Lauder Double Wear, my Fenty Beauty foundation. I have two foundations from Clarins, which are just lovely. I have the Laneige Cushion Hydro Radiance foundation, or BB Cushion foundation, I guess I should say, and then I have my refill for that. I have my Giorgio Armani, the Double Wear Light. I have a Bourjois Healthy Mix Serum, my MAC Studio Fix Fluid, and then I have the It Cosmetics CC Cream, which is actually, I have the shade Fair, but it's actually way too dark for me. I just keep it because it was expensive and I feel like I need to use it. Maybe this summer I'll get a tan and can actually use it. We'll see. I might have to gift it to somebody. And then I have my Peach Perfect from Too Faced foundation. This is in the shade Swan. This is pretty much my everyday foundation. And I have a backup back there, which is where I keep all my backups still in the boxes. This divider in the middle has all of my concealers in it. So I have some drugstore, some Maybelline, some L'Oreal, this hard candy concealer that is apparently amazing. I just haven't tried it yet. My NARS Complete Concealer, the the Tarte Shape Tape in 2 different shades, my MAC Concealer, and one from NYX as well. Then over here I have all of my drugstore foundations and more budget foundations. So I have the serum and the full coverage foundations from The Ordinary. I have each one in 2 different shades. 1.0 Neutral Silver, and I think, what's this guy? 1.1 Neutral. So I have both of those shades in both the high coverage and the serum formulas. Then I have my Maybelline Dream BB Cream, which is actually my favorite drugstore BB cream, even though the lightest shade is still too dark, which is a bummer. It's still one of the best BB creams I've found under $15. Then I have, I think, what are at this time my favorite drugstore foundations. It's the CoverGirl True Blend Matte Made foundations. I just have them in 2 different shades because they don't have a perfect match for me. So I have L20 and I think the other one is L15. Yeah. I have the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation in Porcelain. This is an amazing, amazing, amazing drugstore foundation if you have very oily skin and are pale, because they have a really good selection for fair skin, which is surprising for such a budget brand. And then this I'm probably going to either throw away or give to somebody. I was just trying it out. It's the Maybelline Dream Liquid Mousse. A friend recommended it to me, and her skin always looks amazing. It just doesn't work super well for me, and it's too dark, and this is the lightest shade. So I think I'm going to give that away, but for now it lives here. This little tin, which is actually an old candle photos holder, is where I keep kind of like my liquid and cream highlighting products, as well as my lightening drops from the Body Shop. So I just have some really random things in here. My Sonia Kashuk highlighting stick. I think this is a Maybelline Master Strobing stick. Nothing super exciting in there. I don't really reach for these very often. Then in this middle section I have setting sprays, primers, and just like some glowy base products. So for setting sprays right now I have an e.l.f. setting spray, Matte Magic Mist and Set. It is just okay, I just want to use it up. Then we have the Wet n Wild Matte Finish, which I don't really recommend, but again, just trying to finish it up. And then I have my favorite setting spray from the drugstore right now, which is the Milani Make It Last. It's super, 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 super good. Would highly recommend. Then I just have my primers. So this is actually a moisturizer from Murad, but I use it as a primer on days when I have a lot of dryness. My go-to daily primer is the Too Faced Peach Perfect, just because it works so well with this foundation, and I use that pretty much every single day. These are just some gel mattifying primers from Sephora that I'm trying out that they sent me, which was awesome. I don't really have an opinion on them yet because I haven't used them enough. I have a trial size of the Smashbox primer, which I really like. I mostly save it for when I'm traveling though, just because it's so tiny and handy to stash in my travel bag. And then I have my strobe cream, which I love. This is Gold Light. I have a backup, but I got the pink light, I think. Did I? Yes, I did. So that's what I'll move on to next after I finish that. And then back there, you can't really see, but I just have 3 Graftobian foundation palettes for when I do client work. And then this is just where I stash my backups and extras. I just realized how long the last clip was, so I'm going to try and fly through this drawer. This is the next drawer up, and it is basically just blushes, contour, bronzers, some highlighters, and all face powders. Here, I'm going to stand up because it's a little higher up. So in here I just have I have a lot of drugstore blushes. I love drugstore blushes. This is one of my favorites from the drugstore. It's the Essence Silky Touch Blush, and it's in the shade Baby Doll. One of the best drugstore blushes I've ever tried. And then I have some Tarte. I have my favorite high-end palette, which is the Jouer Adore Blush Duo. This is, I think, my favorite higher-end blush palette ever that I've ever used, and I've hit pan, so it's almost time to buy another one. Over here I have some bronzers. My go-to is the Body Shop Honey Bronzer in the lightest shade. I have this one from Wet n Wild that I'm just trying out. It's very sparkly, so I don't love it, but I don't know. I like the shade, just not the glitter. I have the e.l.f. St. Lucia palette. I don't like the blush because, again, it has a lot of glitter, but the bronzer shade is really beautiful for lighter skin tones. Back here I have the Hard Candy Illuminating Duo, which unfortunately broke. Excuse the gross nails. But these are just so good. If you're looking for a drugstore dupe for the Hourglass palettes, not palettes, I should say the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powders, give these a try. You can't really go wrong because they're so affordable, and they're really, really lovely. I would just recommend always setting them with a setting spray because they do leave kind of a powdery look on the skin, but a really, really beautiful, subtle glow. Then I have the e.l.f., what are you actually called? Moonlight Pearls Highlight. I do like this one. I don't use a lot of highlighter, but if I do, this is the one I reach for. I really like that you can use it wet or dry, and it really changes the way that it looks. And sometimes I'll even just swipe it over my eyes if I'm in a hurry. Then under here I have the Hoola Bronzer, which I don't use that much, but it's nice for traveling with. And then I have my go-to contour, which is actually an eyeshadow from Kyo. That's my new one, my backup. This is in the shade Sand, and I highly recommend this if you have pale skin and you have a hard time finding a contour that doesn't make you look muddy. So yes, really, really love that. And then back here I just have all of my setting powders, which I kind of rotate through them all. I won't go through all of them, but the Too Faced Primed and Poreless, I just finished this, so this is my brand new one. It's pretty much what I use on a daily basis. And then I do have my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish as well, which I love. And then I have some Essence, some Rimmel Stay Matte that I love. What else do I have? I have an e.l.f. palette. It's like an illuminating palette, but it has some really good contour and bronzing shades in it. And then I do love the Laura Mercier Smooth Focus Pressed Setting Powder for oil control. It works really, really well. And then I obviously have my Laura Mercier Loose Translucent Powder. That's an old one. I'm just keeping it. I'm pretty much out of it, but I want to try and get like the top out so that I can really finish it and get to all of the product just because it's so pricey. And then back here I have my backup powder, which is the RCMA Translucent Powder, and I love it. It's just really messy to use, so I don't reach for it that often. And then I just have some blotting sheets from Clean & Clear. Next drawer is all eye products. So in this first section, I have all brow products for the most part, and then I just keep my eyelash curler in here because that's where it fits. I think the products I reach for the most are obviously my NYX micro brow pencil. This is a backup, and the actual one is in here somewhere, the one that I'm currently using. I don't really use brow gel, but this is the one I use if I feel like it. This L'Oreal one is actually super, super nice. And I'm kind of rotating back and forth between that and the NYX brow gel, which I always grab in the shade Blonde. Then over here I have my eyeliners, eye pencils, and cream eyeshadows. I've really cut down my collection, so I don't have a ton of variety in terms of color, but I do really like this purpley one from Maybelline. And then I have, these are kind of like my cream products. So I have my MAC Paint Pot in the shade Painterly. I mostly use this as a base when I'm going to go in with a powder eyeshadow. So I keep that in there, my sharpener, and then I have some cream and gel liners as well in there. My favorite one is from L'Oreal. Okay, and then in this next section we have eyeshadows. I don't use a lot of color on my eyes, so my collection of eyeshadows really isn't that vast. This is probably the one I reach for the most, and it's just a super neutral matte shade from Annabelle. What is your name? Ivory. And I use it all the time. Often I'll just go in with my MAC Paint Pot and Painterly all over the lid, and then go in with this to kind of set it. and even it out, and that'll be what I wear for the whole day, almost every day. Favorites in here are Stila Kitten. I feel like everyone has that in their collection. It's beautiful. You can use it wet and dry, and it's lovely. I have some L'Oreal loose pigments that I really, really like, and then I think my favorite shadow is the Bobbi Brown eyeshadow in Heather. It's just this really, really beautiful purpley shade. Mine is so beat up because I take it with me everywhere. And then for palettes, in here I have the Smashbox palette, the Full Exposure palette. I don't reach for this as much as I probably should because it's so beautiful. But hopefully now that I have this set up and it's right where I can see it every day, I will reach for it more often. And then my other palettes are the NYC Big and Bold eyeshadow palette. I really, really like this one. It's a really good budget buy. My Naked Basics palette from Urban Decay, which is super old, and I probably should have thrown it out by now, but I just love it so much, so I'm going to keep it, as gross as that is. And then I love this NYC palette, which is called Late Night Latte. I really like that purple shade in the middle. And then this from Wet n Wild, and it is called Walking on Eggshells, and I love it so much. And then back there, nothing too exciting, just a bunch of different mascaras. I don't know if you can see that, but I have about 1 million L'Oreal Voluminous mascaras. They are all in the same shade, black is black. I have some waterproof formula and some in the normal formula. It's my go-to. I have a few trial size mascaras as well, and for the longest time this was my favorite. It's another L'Oreal Voluminous, but it's the Lash Paradise formula, and I really liked that as well. I just find I always go back to the original formula. I have a clear brow mascara, or normal mascara. Oh yeah, Lash and Brow from Essence. It's a pretty solid product for such an affordable price. It really holds everything in place, which surprised me. Yeah, other than that, nothing super exciting in there. And then in the back there, I don't know if you can see, I just keep false lashes, which I rarely reach for, which is why they're tucked all the way back there. Okay, next drawer, we're almost done, guys. This drawer doesn't have a ton in it. I really cut down my collection. It's all lip products. So in this container, I mostly keep what I wear every day, which is normally a balm or a really hydrating gloss layered under a neutral nude lip pencil. So some of my favorites in here are the Nudes lip balms. They're just super, super good. And I do really like the Pillow Plump lip glosses from Soap & Glory. They actually do have a plumping effect. And then normally I'll layer over that. I'll just kind of really lazily overdraw my bottom lip. Some of my favorites are the MAC lip pencil in Whirl, and then I do have this Too Faced. What shade are you? Lip liner in Perfect Nude, and it really is the perfect nude. I'm not sure if it's going to focus on it. And then I have my most recent favorite, which is the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk in, no, Lip Cheat in the shade Pillow Talk, which is one of my all-time favorites as of a few months ago. It's just the prettiest, best nude I've ever found. This is a palette that I made myself about a year ago, I want to say, and it's mostly for when people come over, and I have a little palette knife for depotting it just to keep it all sanitary. And then in here I have just all different kinds of lipsticks. They're all different formulas. I have this I really like. It's like this little rouge pot from Bobbi Brown. I have my favorite MAC lipstick, which is the shade Faux. And then I have just like such a random mix of high-end and a drugstore. I have some Tanya Burr in here as well. I think my favorites out of everything are these Lise Watier. What are you actually called? The fondant lipstick. This is in the shade Sandra, and it's my absolute favorite lipstick. I can't open it right now, but I've used it in past videos, which I will try and link the one where I've used this down below. And then I have a lot of Essence lipsticks because I just find they do a really, really lovely job with all of their lipstick formulas. Then in the second drawer from the top, we have kind of like my tools. So all of my brushes, my sponges, and then some backup tools. So I have an extra eyelash curler, an extra sharpener, and an extra mirror as well. So these, actually a lot of these need to be washed, but these are all like my powder brushes pretty much. So like face powder, blushes, contour, bronzer, powder highlight, that kind of thing. And then in here I have all the brushes I use for like cream and liquid products, so my sponges, which are all Real Techniques, and then I have my MAC 170 brush, which I love, so I have 2 of them. And then I also have the Real Techniques buffing brushes in here because I also really like those. I kind of rotate between these 2 styles for buffing in liquid foundation. And that's pretty much it for that drawer. The last and final drawer is totally unrelated to makeup, but it's just my most used go-to nail products. So I have just my Seche Vite in here, and then I have just some really neutral everyday polishes that I love. I think my favorites are from Revlon. They're the Color Stay formulas, and this is in the shade All or Nothing, and it's one of my ultimate favorite everyday nail colors. Then I just have some cuticle sticks. I have my glass nail file, which I love. I'll never go back to a like plastic nail file. Then I have my buffing brush, and then I have this little pencil, which has actually come in so handy from Sally Hansen. It's this 2-in-1 nail white pencil, and you wouldn't know it by looking at my nails now, but it actually does a really good job at making them all just look really tidy and clean and crisp, and just bringing a little more white to any spots where you have yellowness, which I do because I have really thin, frail, brittle nails. So that actually works wonders. I highly recommend it. And then I just have tools, so my cuticle trimmer and my nail trimmers, and that's pretty much it. Okay guys, so that is that for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. That would be awesome. And definitely comment down below. Let me know what makeup products you still own that you probably should have tossed by now. I find that really interesting because I am a major offender in that department. I keep makeup way past its expiry date, especially if it's like a pressed powder. I just forget to get rid of them, or I feel bad that I haven't used it all up yet, so I keep it even though I probably won't use it. It's a whole thing. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your beautiful day. I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.